going.
Yeah, so I hope.
Mark, as you were able to meet with the team, talk to them after the win, what maybe was going through you about just seeing the performance of the guys and how poised that they were in a great game?
Yeah, that was a great program win for us. It's one that we can be really proud of as a complete program, because that's a reflection of, first of all, having the right guys. Those guys can all play, obviously, but also having a system in place where they can keep themselves confident and sharp when their role increases, like some guys tonight, and when their role, when they're in the game, when they're not normally in the rotation. And so for guys to all go on the court, be in shape, be in rhythm, and have confidence to step into larger roles or to step into a role is just great for everybody. It's great for, obviously, the players first, and then everybody that touches them and puts the work in behind the scenes. That's one we're really proud of.
Not only were some guys in some kind of larger offensive roles, but that didn't impact the defense at all, it seems. What did you make of the way that the team played to the defensive identity and played incredibly well?
Yeah, I mean, Grant and Simons are the two guys that we went into the game knowing that we needed to really do a good job on. And Simons, I don't think, scored in the second half. And Grant, we held the 4 points, 2 for 10, and so we kept their attempts down, and we put them in the crowd when they had the ball. And so, great job prioritizing that. The offense went in and out at different times, but as you said, the defense, it was there all night, down the stretch especially. We had great defense down the stretch of that game.
With Jaylin Williams specifically, I just wonder what you saw from him, and I guess what a game like this does for him the rest of the season, even in the role he has to play the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a really good player, and a player that has gotten a lot better. I mean, he really knows himself. He knows his game. He knows the system cold at this point. And no player comes out of the draft or joins the team knowing all those things. And so he's forged himself into this version of himself. He's kept himself ready, as we've talked about, as his role's been more fluid since Chet's been back. And for him to just step in, play with the confidence and the tightness that he played with tonight on both ends of the floor was very impressive.
We talked about Alex Caruso a bunch, but obviously you started him. I imagine you want to keep his role consistent regardless of who's out there. What can you say about what he did tonight and just wanting to keep his role consistent regardless of who's out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're heading into, we're coming out of a condensed stretch, and we're heading into a condensed stretch, and didn't want to overextend really anybody tonight, despite the fact that we had a bunch of guys out. He's really important for us. He did a great job on Simons, especially down the stretch. I think he gives the team confidence. I think K-Rich is like that too. Jay Will, those guys, they give the team confidence because of the way they play, the way they compete, how inside the team they are at all times. I thought he definitely did that for us in his minutes tonight.
On top of the box score with the triple-double, Jay was loud defensively. What did you see from him on that end today?
Everybody was dialed in there. He did a great job. I mean, they're a great offensive rebounding team. Klingons a load on the glass. He did a great job rebounding the ball. He did a great job in his pick and roll coverages, not understanding the game plan on Sharp and on Simon specifically with the amount of pick and rolls they play. I thought he was really, really good, both ends of the floor. And I thought, like I said, defensively, that was a 5-man effort on most of the possessions tonight.
The consensus thing about you guys is no matter who's in the game, no matter who's on the floor for you guys, defense is one thing that doesn't change. And talk to other teams, and their players say you guys can move on a string. What does it take for you guys to build that type of defense for consistent, like yes, the top 6 guys out for the top ranked defense by far in the league? You have that same thing tonight.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a program win. It starts with the guys. These are like competitive guys that play inside the team, and we can't instill that in them. We do. Sam does a great job of finding guys that kind of sing our song in terms of that stuff. And then, it's about, stacking days, for the players, whether they're with the Blue or in high intensity workouts or whether they're bench role players for us, constantly improving throughout the course of the season, constantly staying ready, constantly staying confident, which is hard when your role is variant. And then all the people, in our program that work behind the scenes with the players that stack the days with them. And invest in them. We just try to put an infrastructure in place where guys like that can do what they did tonight. You know, so that's just a great win for everybody.
Back to Jaylin, dating back to high school, he has had opportunities to basically play point guard for his teams. How much did you kind of, over the course of getting to know him, know about just how deep his history is of that, and would you make of just some of the passes that he's picking out tonight, really, as the offense is being orchestrated through him?
Yeah, the passing has always been there. You know, the thing about him, he's a great pressure release. You know, he gets every catch. You know, so when you are getting pressure, we didn't have like a pure point guard in the game tonight, and they're a ball pressure team. That's why part of why their defense has been so good. So for us to be able to just throw it to him, he's like a tight end. You know, like he's like a check down tight end. You know, if things are a little muddled on a possession, you can just find him, and it stabilizes the possession, and you can get to the next action and get to something quality with the ball in the hands of a good decision maker. And so passing's there. It was on display tonight, but you know, the ability to be able to get those catches, secure the ball, and have a steady hand once he has it is huge, and it was huge in a game like this.
You mentioned tonight being a program win. I feel like a lot of people talk about chemistry with a team, and it mainly just has to do with offense. Can you speak to sort of the defensive chemistry of this team, because it feels like you guys are playing almost beyond on a string in your rotations and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys have played for us, you know, recently. Not all of them are you know, coming off the bench, and we haven't been great, you know, on that end of the floor at All-Star break. You know, and some of that's shooting variance, and some of that's us, you know, not really amping it up. In the last 2 games, you know, we stacked 2 straight games where we've really defended at a high level. Memphis was great defensive performance by the team, and tonight, you know, we replicated that. But yeah, I mean, that builds chemistry. And I think the thing that builds chemistry is when people do invisible things that are investments in the team. And we have a bunch of guys that are willing to do that, whether it's screening, whether it's cutting, whether it's running on offense, and then whether it's defending, getting the ball on a rebound, taking a charge, communicating a coverage on defense, and you know, all those little micro investments, I think are how you build chemistry, and these guys are committed to the invisible things.
Go ahead, Joel. Mark, you mentioned that Alex and Kenneth are 2 guys that can give the teammates confidence about staying with the team and the way they play. Are there other ways that they give those guys confidence?
And they're definitely like confident people, you know, I think, which translates to the court for them, but they're very self-secure. They're very comfortable inside their own skin. There's a lot of integrity to them as people, which I think when, you know, players come into the NBA and they're trying to find their way and they're trying to figure out how to cut their teeth, when they're seeing guys like that have had success, that are just who they are, they're not pretending to be something they're not. I think it gives them confidence that translates to the court, and then they go out there and they play inside their role in very impactful ways. And Jay Will, you know, is younger but is cut from that cloth for sure.
Mark, what did you think of just Williams' ability to attack the basket and score tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously been on such a great run. The scoring that he's done in the role that he's been in has been very impressive. You know, he's played a pretty narrow role, and yet has gotten a lot done offensively. And you know, on a night like tonight where his role expanded, he's getting guarded by Kamara, who is a very good defensive player that gives him a different look than he probably normally gets. For him to still find it the way he did on a lot of possessions was impressive. He had another really good game, but he's been on a 2-month run now that he's been really cooking.
Anybody else? Coach?
Thanks.